Okay, I believe we might be live. It says live here on my screen, so hopefully we're live. We're not live on LinkedIn. There we go. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. We're going live for the first time for this co-working space for the Income Studio. It's an idea that I had day before yesterday, so I set it up yesterday. So this is a first one and a bit of a test. So if you're here, thank you for joining. Even if you're watching the replay, thank you for having a poke in and see what's going on. So the idea behind this really, so maybe some of you watched the masterclass last week where I talked about how we can, as people working in visual effects, film and TV, can create multiple streams of income and without having to rely on an unreliable industry, essentially. And, you know, there are a lot of ideas shared in there. And, you know, my hope is that you're now working on those ideas. And this is a space to really come and just kind of have some focused work time. Okay. So I'm going to be doing this every Saturday going forward. That's the plan. This is the first one to test it out. And actually the beach club I usually go to, their Wi-Fi wasn't working, so I had to run to find somewhere else. This place isn't open, but luckily they allowed me to sit here until they open at 12 in an hour and a half. I'm getting bitten though, so I might have to go get some bug spray. But with that said, so the idea is that I have a Pomodoro timer up here, and what it'll do is, I think it's set for 2.5 hours. So it'll have a 25-minute timer for some focused work, and then we'll do a 5-minute break. And any comments, or any questions in the comments, I'll be happy to answer. So, you know, if you have any questions that you want to ask about building streams of income, you can ask me. My charger needs, my laptop needs to be charged. Oh, damn it. I might have to go down there, but that's okay. The show will go on. Okay, so 25 minutes of work and then 5 minutes of break or Q&A. I'll have a look in the comments, see what's going on. And then we'll go back into another 25-minute stretch of focused work. So you can put in the comments what you're working on, what you want to get done in this next sprint, and then you can always say afterwards like what you did, or maybe you had a question that came up while you were working on something. So however you want to use that. If you want to put a picture as well of your workspace, I hope you guys can hear me. I'll find out at some point if you can hear me or not. But yes, a picture of your workspace so I can see where you are. I don't think you can actually see the beach here. I've got the beach going along here. I'm not one of those people that sit in a dark room with no distractions. I'm actually very good with having a lot of things kind of going on around me and then being able to like focus. I actually focus a lot better when I've got things like happening around me. Not so much the bugs biting me though. I'm gonna have to move, not move, get some spray. But with that being said, I'm gonna start the timer either way. We'll start cracking on. And I will go get some bug spray from my, it's just in my car over there, and sit near a socket so this can charge. So yeah, I'm going to probably take the first couple minutes to sort myself out, but we're going to start the timer anyway. I'm going to also find out where I can find comments and things like that. So like I said, this is the first one just to test it out, see how the tech works. And yeah, hopefully be able to tell more people about this for next week. Okay, so yeah, put in the comments what you're working on. I will be working on, after I've got my bug spray and got my charger, I will be working on an email sequence for a new launch that I'm doing. So it's an email sequence to survey my audience, basically, and find out what's going to be helpful. That's always where I start, is asking people what it is that they want from whatever it is that I'm creating. And I would always encourage you to do the same. If you're going to set something up, going to do something, and you know, find out what it is, who it is that you're serving, right? Who it is that you're serving, and then what it is that they want. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And in 25 minutes, we will reconvene. I'm going to set some music up as well, which I have here on this piece of software that I'm using. If you like it, keep it on. If you don't, mute it. But just have that timer on so you're back on the 5-minute break, for the 5-minute break or Q&A, whatever you'd like. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this on so you can hear it, because it has a big beep. Okay. You can hear that as well. Get the music, background music going. Hey, hello, whoever is out there. This is our first 5-minute break from our co-working session. So I see a couple of comments in here from Rabib. Yes, I know I said at the bottom here that to share your a picture of where your your workspace and stuff. Apparently there isn't a place to actually do that here, so sorry about that. But I thought maybe a better idea would be still take that picture and put it on your feed, and let people know that you're doing a co-working session on on a Saturday to build these other streams of income. I'd love to know, are you in the visual effects film TV industry? Let me know if you are, what you're working on, and also if you have any questions. Okay, that's kind of what this break is for, as well as taking a break. We also have here My Locator. I guess that's a business. Okay, you're in Los Angeles, awesome. So you're 3 hours behind me. So yeah, again, let us know what you're working on in this in the next session. So in 3 minutes and 35 seconds, we'll be going back into a sprint. So my first sprint, I was going to set up an email campaign. Of course, I was just trying to get myself sorted and arranged around here because I usually work at a different beach club, but their internet wasn't working. So I had to come over here, and then I was trying to find a socket because my laptop was dying. So this is the first virtual co-working Saturday that we're doing. We're going to be doing them every week. This is the first one to test it out, see how the tech all works. And yeah, so I only put the event out yesterday. Hopefully, this will build and let other people know, what we're doing and, building other streams of income. I had a masterclass that went out last week, and many of you have watched that. It's specifically for people in the visual effects film and TV industry, but very relevant all around. So yes, have a watch of the masterclass if you haven't, and from there you can get some ideas about what it is that you want to be working on. And this is a place where you can kind of come and have a few hours on a Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you in the world you are, and also ask some questions, any questions that you have. So as I said, I was kind of getting myself oriented. This place is open to 12, and using their electricity and their Wi-Fi, and so thanks to the owner when he came along. But yeah, at least I was able to kind of get on here. I was a bit worried. It was 15 minutes to the session. I was like, what am I going to do? And I stopped by here, and the people were very nice. And I'm over in Barbados, by the way. The beach back there. I usually like looking at the beach, but because the socket situation is over here, I'm looking at a wall, and you guys can't even see that. So, but yeah, it's at least we're on and we're live and we are still working. So that's actually going to be my next sprint, is actually getting the email sequence going and writing that up. And so it may take more than 25 minutes. So of course, if you have a sprint that takes more than 25 minutes, that's okay. It's just about focusing during those 25 minutes on a singular task. If you're someone who likes to not be around so many things and be in a room with no distractions, then definitely do that. I'm someone who likes to have things going on around me, and then just focusing on what I'm doing. So yeah, whatever works for you. But like I say, any questions that you have in these 5-minute breaks, do put them in the chat. I think we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Oh yeah, YouTube and Instagram. But I think I'm mostly checking the LinkedIn because that's where I put the event in the first place. I haven't actually opened YouTube. I will try and figure that one out as well. Okay, so in about 10 seconds, we'll go back into a sprint, and let me know in the chat what it is that you're working on for these next 25 minutes, and I'll see you in 25 minutes. All right, there we go. That's our next 25-minute sprint. Let me know how you're doing, what you were working on, and how you got on with it. Any questions that you have about creating other streams of income, jumping into the comments on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So just find a link for YouTube. So what we're doing here is a virtual co-working space on Saturdays. So we come together for a few hours on a Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, to work on our other streams of income. So I made a masterclass that many of you may have watched last week. Maybe many of you haven't watched, and you can go ahead and go over to my profile on LinkedIn and watch that masterclass. So it's specifically made for the visual effects film and TV industry, the industry that I work in. So that's what, I will in a minute. Just going to finish this up. Thank you. Someone came over to take my drink order. So yes, that's what this is for. So we work for 25 minutes. This is the Pomodoro timer. People may or may not have heard of. But you do 25 minutes of focus work in a 5-minute break. You can take a break, but you can ask questions, up to you. But I'll always check in the comments on the 5-minute break. And then we do another 25-minute sprint. So the idea is to go from 10:30 to 1:30 my time. So at the moment it's 11:30. So we've got another 2 hours to go. Okay, so I'm just going to have a look at the comments. So we're going over to LinkedIn. Rabi. So yeah, let me know what you're working on, Rabi. Milo Cater is working on internet search engine. Very cool. If you have any questions, Milo Cater, you know. Over on Instagram, Adriel joined. I don't know if you're still here, Adriel. My brother joined. Said I look angry when I focus. He does too. No, particularly with the fam. It is my mum's birthday today, actually, so maybe that'll be for my next sprint. Message my mum to say happy birthday. Right on the other channels. Okay, so yeah, so 5-minute break. Yeah, so a cup of tea. Whatever it is, however you want to take your break, I'm gonna order a drink, see when the food is coming out, to get ready for lunch as well. Always like to know what I'm going to have for lunch. But yes, let me know in the comments what you're working on. I do also say to share a picture of your workspace, but apparently that's not an option. You can't actually share a picture in the comments. So in that case, I'll just check that I wasn't still muted. Talking all this time, so hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, you can't show your picture of your workspace, but I'd still love to see it. So if you want to on LinkedIn, just post a picture of your workspace and you can tag me in it. I'd love to see where you're at. So this is the first one. We're hoping to do this every Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. AST, which at the moment is the same as EDT, which is New York time. So yeah, try to make it a time where, not too early for the West Coast, and also, in Asia, it's still evening time, so you guys can also join as well. Rabi is from Bangladesh, he said. Very cool to have you here. And my locator is in Los Angeles. So yeah, the whole spectrum, that's very cool. Okay. A comment somewhere, I'm not sure where. Let's see another comment. So I'm sorry if I can't see the comment. Just getting used to the software. So this is the first time that we're doing this. Just getting used to the tech. I just set it all up yesterday, so I really just made one post about having an event. Yeah, even had issues this morning. The beach club I usually go to didn't have internet, so I had to. This one was actually just next door, so it wasn't too bad. But just finding how to get things done. All right, next sprint is about to start, and I'll see you in 25 minutes. let me know in the comments what you're working on, and I will see you in 25 minutes for the next break where you can ask me questions that you would like to. Okay, so we have done our third sprint. And so what we're doing here, it's a virtual co-working Saturday for people in the visual effects, film and TV industry who want to be creating multiple streams of income. So they don't have to rely on an unreliable industry, but they also don't have to leave the industry. So I created a masterclass about this last week, so you can go ahead and check that out for sure. But after that, it's like, okay, when you start creating, you start building. This is a space where on a Saturday you have some time where we can do some sprints together. We take a 5-minute break. You can put your questions in the comments, and I can answer those for you. But also just let us know what you're working on. Okay. So did get a question from Punit Joshi. Not sure if you're still with us, but I've only got half the question here. Let me come to this one. Here we go. Okay, so join the masterclass. The description was about finding alternate gigs for a visual effects artist. I'm still confused about it. Can you elaborate on that? Okay, so I don't know if I can, how much I can elaborate in a few minutes after an hour and 13 masterclass, because that kind of elaborated on it quite a lot. So if there's a specific question you have on it, please let me know what your specific question is, so I can kind of speak to that. But one of the things I would say, so you kind of said that for a visual effects artist, and so one of the things I found is that as visual effects artists, as people working in the film industry, TV industry, we kind of surround our identity with it, okay? And we think that that is all we are. And the thing is, we actually have so much to offer outside of that. It's just that we haven't perhaps been told our options. And that's essentially what the masterclass is there, to kind of show you that there are other things that you can do. I've done them, and I still do them, and also work in the visual effects industry, continue to work in the visual effects industry. The difference is I get to choose to work and not have to work. And that's kind of what I want to help people do, is have the ability to choose to work and not have to work, so that when strikes happen, when contracts end, whatever it is that's kind of going on with the industry, we can let it, right? Industry can do what the industry going to do, and that's fine. And what we can do is make sure that our financial life isn't tied to the visual effects industry. Now, if you want to leave the visual effects industry, go ahead. You can, right? You have the choice to, choose to stay in the visual effects industry if you enjoy it, but you don't have to rely on it, or you can choose to leave. And the choice is yours then. So when I first got financial freedom, for example, request to share the link to the masterclass. I'll check it out. Okay, yeah, sure. If you go onto my, I'll try my best. I'll try my best to get the link for you. If you do go onto my profile Punit, you will see the link there at the top. There's also a featured post there. But in the sprint, that's the first thing I'll do for you, Punit, is I'll get the link and I'll put it in the comments here for you. But yeah, really go through that. Make sure you have a pen and paper with you, if that's the best way you take notes, or even if it's online, however you take notes best. And dive into that, because there's a lot of information in there that I want people to know in the industry, because it's stuff that I've kind of gone through over the last, whenever 2017 was, and from 2017 to 2020, I struggled. And I don't want you guys to struggle. I want you to learn from my mistakes and, start doing what actually works. And that's essentially what the masterclass is there to help you to do. And then, once you have some ideas and you want to, if you have extra questions, 100% come here and ask me those extra questions, and I can definitely answer those for you. And, use this time on a Saturday morning to start working on those things. Okay, so we're going to head into the next sprint now. So yes, this is a virtual co-working Saturday that we're going to be doing every Saturday now going forward. This is the first one, just to test out the tech. I'm so glad that you guys joined us. And yeah, let me know what you're working on for the next 25 minutes. I'm working on an email campaign. Let's go. Okay, so that is the end of our fourth sprint. How is everyone getting on? Comment. So we're here on a Saturday for a virtual co-working session, wherever you are in the world. For me, it's 12:30 in the afternoon. Maybe it's still the morning for you if you're on the West Coast. Maybe it's later on in the day if you're in the UK or even in Asia. So welcome, you're here, and you're using the time that you have on the weekend to build other streams of income. So I work in the visual effects industry for television, and I created a masterclass last week for other people to kind of understand what it is that they can be doing in terms of other streams of income. And after watching that, maybe you want to start creating, start doing, and this is a space to just have some focused time to work on some things on a Saturday. And so what we do is a Pomodoro timer. So you do 25 minutes of work, focused work, and then a 5-minute break. And in those 5-minute breaks, I'm here to answer any questions that you have, and just see what you guys are working on. So let me know what you're working on, and if you have any questions. So I'm going to ask about the masterclass, which I see they did sign up to, so you stop watching that. That's okay. Good use of time. I come over to if anyone has any questions, do chuck it in there in the comments. I think they do take a while to come through, actually. But as soon as I do, I can see them up. We are actually live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I believe the Facebook one is actually only to people I invite, to which I didn't invite anyone. So I don't think it's actually showing anyone. But so this is the first one that we're doing. I just set up the event yesterday on LinkedIn and put it out there. So that's kind of my main platform, LinkedIn, where I hang out and spend my time. So we are live on the other platforms as well. The software that I'm using, so it's really just a test to see how it goes. Had a little bit of a blip this morning, so usually the beach club I go to, it's actually just a couple of doors down. Their Wi-Fi wasn't working, so I had to quickly find somewhere that had Wi-Fi. I got here when it wasn't even open, and they allowed me, luckily, to plug my laptop in, because that was the other thing. My laptop wasn't charged up fully, so I needed to plug in, and here I am. But luckily, I was able to get live at the time I said I was going to. Hopefully they're serving food soon. I'm getting hungry. I think it's some kind of sport. I don't see any questions in LinkedIn or the other ones. We did have the questions earlier, which I've gone through, and you can join us over in Los Angeles and working on SEO, I believe, and Ravi, who's from Bangladesh. Probably going to see. But thanks guys for joining. Any questions you have? So this is going to be actually our last 25-minute sprint. So I've got this timer here, and this is the last one to do. It's a 2.5-hour timer. So we'll have 5 minutes at the end. If you do have any questions, do put them in the comments. Even while we're working, that's cool, because when we get to the 5 minutes break or finish up at the end there, I'll still answer any questions that are there for and also your benefits. Okay, so what you guys are working on and what you're focused on and what you're building. And if I can offer any assistance in these breaks, then I'm happy to. Okay, so back in.